Today we are looking at the profession of law in the common law world. The first thing we have to ask is, what do the different terms describing lawyers, for example attorney, counsel, solicitor, barrister, in-house counsel, actually mean? These terms are not interchangeable, and each often has a specific meaning depending on the jurisdiction in which it is used. Trying to get it right can be a nightmare for the non-Anglophone lawyer or student. The term lawyer is used in all common law countries and describes any person licensed to practice law. It is a general term and does not denote any specialization. Attorney or attorney at law is a general term used to define a general practitioner of law in the United States. However, outside the United States, lawyers specialized in specific areas of law, such as patent law, are sometimes referred to as patent attorneys. However, they have to receive a special qualification to use this title. Also, the term Attorney General is used in most common law countries to describe the government's chief legal advisor. In the United Kingdom and in many common law countries such as Australia and Ireland, lawyers are divided into two main categories: solicitors and barristers. These terms are not used in the United States or Canada. Both barristers and solicitors are lawyers, but the two professions can be distinguished in the following way. Solicitors do most of the legal work carried out by lawyers, apart from pleading before the higher jurisdictions. Barristers are specialized in pleading before the courts, and in particular before higher jurisdictions. Finally, there is the term in-house lawyer or corporate in-house counsel. In-house lawyer is the term used to describe lawyers who work as employees of a company or business. There are also related professions, such as notary public or commissioner for oaths. One does not have to be a qualified lawyer to be either a notary public or a commissioner for oaths. Their work, above all, involves confirming the signature and identity of people making written, sworn statements or signing public documents. What is the vocabulary we use to describe the work carried out by lawyers? The work of lawyers in common law countries can be discussed under a number of different headings. The first term we will discuss is conveyancing. Conveyancing is the term used to describe the legal transfer of the ownership or title of property from one person to another. When X sells his house to Y, in legal terms, X's title to the property is conveyed to Y. In jurisdictions in which lawyers are divided into barristers and solicitor, this work is done by solicitors. The work carried out under the heading of conveyancing can be summarized as follows. First, the lawyer or solicitor is said to take instruction from the client from whom they are acting. When a lawyer is requested to perform a task on behalf of a client, the lawyer is said to take instruction from the client. Secondly, the purchaser's solicitor will carry out searches against the property being brought. It is the job of the purchaser's solicitor to carry out a search to ensure that the property being purchased is not encumbered. By encumbered, we mean that the property is free of all charges. It is also the work of the solicitor to represent the client at the closing. The closing is the name given to a meeting in which the actual transaction, i.e. the sale of the house, actually occurs. The seller's solicitor is also responsible for drafting the contract for sale. In the common law world, contracts for the sale of property must be in writing and are referred to as deeds. The solicitor for the purchaser will have to liaise with the lender bank. When the purchaser of property is taking out a loan guaranteed by a mortgage in order to buy the house, the mortgager's lawyer, i.e. the person who is borrowing the money, the solicitor for the purchaser, will be required to liaise with the lending institution to ensure that the purchase check is issued by the mortgagee, i.e. the lender, at the appropriate time. Finally, the solicitors are responsible for the payment of government taxes due on the sale, for example, stamp duty. Solicitors are also involved in the area of succession law. Succession law is the law governing the transfer of property at death. The deceased can either die testate, i.e. having made a will, or intestate, i.e. without having drawn up a will. Advocacy. Although in the United States any lawyer can represent his client before the courts, in the United Kingdom and in many other common law countries, this work is mainly carried out by barristers who specialise in pleading. Barristers traditionally enjoy a monopoly in pleading before the higher courts. But solicitors have always played an important subsidiary role in the litigation process. For example, nearly all the preparatory work for a trial is carried out by a solicitor who compiles a file referred to as a brief. The solicitor then briefs the barrister who drafts the pleadings and pleads the case on behalf of the solicitor's client. Lawyers are also involved in drafting contracts. Indeed, this is one of the principal jobs of the commercial solicitor. The drafting of contracts is an extremely important activity, as the effect of a contract in the common law world is to create a type of private law between the parties that binds them and limits their future commercial freedom. Issuing of legal opinions. A solicitor, after meeting with a client, will often request a legal opinion from a barrister before advising his client as to whether they should bring a case before the courts. Barristers, often junior barristers, are responsible for issuing legal opinions. And finally, lawyers today are involved in a lot of regulatory work. Modern society has adopted a seemingly endless number of laws regulating human activity. This is especially true as regards commercial activities, and businesses are required to respect these laws. Areas such as competition law, environmental law, labour law, intellectual property law all come under this heading, and this work is primarily carried out by solicitors. This work can also be carried out by in-house counsel, who are sometimes referred to as compliance lawyers, when they work ensuring that a company complies with the regulatory conditions governing its activity. We hope you enjoyed this introduction to the role of the Anglo-Saxon lawyer.